I just I I just wanted to touch base tonight. It's Thursday, June 11th, 9:53 p.m. Central Time. I found a antenna at Walmart. It was like $8.50. So I'm lured in by this antenna into it's called Me TV Tunes. I don't know. It's a good break from my Hallmark binging and TV show crime thriller binging, just life watching cartoons. They got pretty cool stuff on here. They got Ninja Turtles, the Jetsons, Betty Boop. Right now they have Woody Woodpecker going on. So I did a short video on my BTS unboxing, and my family came over. We watched Love Island. I suppose their app crashed, so we have to wait till Friday. So stay tuned. And then right now, I have homework. I'm already behind on homework, and I just had kind of a rough mental start, like, to my day. I think it's the maybe the symptoms of the spinal procedure. I don't even think it's so much the symptoms. I'm saying it's the symptoms because of how painful it was, I guess. So I guess it's just more the risks that I'm dealing with as it is symptoms. So the pain, it's a different pain. It's a huge, well, at first it was just a huge pressure that I felt when I was standing up. I just felt maybe just like the best way I could describe it is like almost like an unpurged line of pressure or air going through my lower back into my groin area, kind of. And then I think I just started walking around too fast. I felt pretty lopsided heavy and I had to sit down. And this heat, it does not help. Supposedly, like 20 people, I have to be fact check verified, but apparently a lot of people fainted at the FIFA in Texas, so it is a hot day. There were heat warnings out, so it was just a rough start. It's been 2 days since my spinal procedure yesterday. I took it easy. Today, I thought, okay, like I'll be a little bit like picking up the pace a little bit more today, which oddly enough, I did something that I don't really do. Like, I think I really struggled to get on the floor. And today, when my family came over, I was just actually, it's hard for me to bend over and get down, but I was actually able to, like, lay myself down, sitting down, get myself down to eat cookies and milk. So I'm getting better, but I obviously still feel the the pain in those. I think the pain is local to the sites, and I would say that it's easing its way in. I suppose whatever they do in the procedure, I think it's easing its way in, and the inflammation around the injection sites is it's dwindling. So I'm curious to see how the next set of injections go. I just spiritually stay strong positive. Like, I look around the room and my room is a mess. This room is a mess. And I just really want to get up and take care of it and put stuff up, but I just can't move like I used to move. And the interactions I have with VA, I'm just over it. Like, I'm over going through all the proper channels and the appropriate channels, and people saying they have no record of me reaching out to them for help. It's like unreal. I'm like, okay, well, how do you explain me finding so and so through your system? And that lawyer saying, you know, I had the State Bar of Texas say that they had no record of me asking for help in their system, but yet I have attorneys that I found using their system telling me they can't help me. And I just, even now, modern day, if I go to their website and I sign up for help, there really is a lack of enforcement on tracking who's communicating with who or what, really. I mean, someone would have to really care. And I'm just like, this is exactly what's wrong with the justice system, especially in Texas. It's like, kind of like the same billboard. It's monopolized, I suppose. And I feel like these referral agencies, they're really quick to sign people up and direct them, which is what the intentions are, I suppose. But I feel like there should be a more general education on their website, like really guide people on what their rights are and educate people as opposed to like, do I need help? Like, you're making people doubt themselves right away on their page, and people that are already in just highly escalated situations to the point where they need legal help. But that's a whole other can of worms. I'm in a whole different place, and I I'm just to the point where I'm just cutting to the chase, and I have always been taught like it's not my job to investigate, it's just my job to report. But since my workplace injury, since 2022, I've just been reporting, and now I'm like, I don't have the tolerance to just sit here and report. Like, I'm just going to say, you're the person that's doing wrong, reporting the person, not so much the incident anymore, or the circumstance, just getting straight to it. Like, this is the person that is causing me harm. This is the person that is partaking, participating, how do I say, profiting, using me, profiting off of my circumstance in any type of way. I'm just pretty much pointing that person out. It's a reality for me that is kind of like, I suppose it's like a daydream for me. I mean, I daydream walking through the factory, and I guess you could say it's PTSD, I don't know, but I do have these daydreams where, and it's not just about the setting, like walking through the factory as it is just walking like I used to walk, running how I used to run, that mobility, those memories, at times they just come to me very quickly. So I thought, okay, well, I'll jump on here. It's 10 o'clock. I'm like so far behind on my homework. But I was watching Love Island with my family, so I'll take a nap. I submitted one report and it said submission successful, but it glitched so much I don't even know if it really sent the report. I'm just over it. I'm just writing up the people who did me wrong and leave the investigation to the real investigators. I was in a place in my life where I remember being so fearful. I was like, well, nobody did believe what I went through, but I was just fearful in the sense going through this circumstance. Like, if something happens to me, no one's going to know what led to what has happened to me. And now I'm in a place where, like, I will constantly repeat my story to whoever cares to know, wants to know more about what I've gone through. And it is tiring, it's exhausting. I have these moments where I'm like, am I really going to make it through this moment as far as my physical health? And I'm like, spiritually, the truth is yes. But my heart rate, it gets up there, 150, and I'm just like, wow, like the fact that I'm barely making it through these moments of high heart rate or whatever it is that's taking me down. I mean, it is by God's grace that I'm still alive. I mean, even now, talking on nobody's chimed in. I have no viewers. I have no likes. There's no activity in my life, but I'm doing this for myself, and that's what matters. I feel like what I put out in my live streams and into the world, for me, it's better than nothing. I would rather have something out there in the world about my life that I left behind to help somebody get through what they're going through, because that's more than what I had, that's for sure. And I I see, like, wow, like the reality of like how the VA treats me and how the government is really treating me, or these multiple agencies disregard me and open close open close open close. And I think today I've come to the conclusion of where I'm going wrong is I keep reporting these incidents, and the incidents, the documents, the facts are there, but nobody or people that are in place in power positions, they don't they they don't they don't truly investigate the people involved at all. I think that it's easy to pry and violate the person that submits the report than actually check into who is involved in the report. And I just really stay grounded in the fact that, like, my reality is that it is a miracle I live until the next second, into the next moment, considering that there are other power dynamics, if you want to call it, or there are other people in place when it comes to my medical care. There are people that are making choices and decisions or choosing not to make choices and decisions when it comes to my medical care, and it's my medical care, and I have idiots messaging me or general cookie cutter. I guess the VA is really trying to do their best, but at the same time, I'm not a guinea pig. Like, my life and my conditions are not for your studies. You should be very highly educated and well studied, and you should already know my chart before you initiate any form of communication with me. And I've never really received that form of care. If anything, I think, did I have that type of care before my workplace accident? Yes, I had a doctor that treated me for quite a long time, and I don't think I ever had an issue with her. I did have an issue with my mental health care provider because he told me that if I didn't take my VA meds that I wouldn't get paid. And those moments are hard for me to process even now. The fact that I didn't have the strength to stand up for myself in those moments. But staying now in the present, I'm starting to realize that it's more or less the individual or the players on the field, and that is why I'm getting nowhere. And I can agree that maybe I have issues adjusting, but also I have so much compassion towards myself. Like, no one should adjust to the living conditions that I lived in. No one should have to adjust to nearly losing their life and losing people that they really care about and love over racist, discriminatory losers that lack any form of general knowledge. So I think that's where the root of a lot of insecurities and problems are between me and people that I interact with, like those individuals that I really don't get along with because they get very agitated and irritated when I talk because they're stupid, and that's not my problem. So today I received an email. I don't know if I've never tried to record. Let me see if I could do this at the same time. I hope I can. It seems like it's doing it. Okay, well, it says, Dear Evan, Program Manager of the Healthcare for Homeless Program, contacted the veteran. Veteran requested a letter documenting his homeless program history. Social worker did a review of the veteran case management record. Veteran has received dental care in Lake Jackson twice. Veteran has not received homeless program dental care at the VA. Thank you for submitting your inquiry with the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs. It is our commitment to provide an excellent customer service experience to all veterans and members of our veteran community. To all who have served or continue to serve, we thank you for your service. Please do not reply to this email as it is system generated. And it says it was sent to me Thursday, 6/11/2026 at 4:37 p.m. Central Time from a no reply va.gov. And that's the first like real response I've ever received out of these 40 cases. And then the one before that, Thursday, 6/11/2026 at 2:05 p.m. Dear Evan Mendez, the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs Office OIG hotline received your submission. The reference number in our system is OIG. I don't know if it's safe for me to give that out openly. I don't know. Oh well. I'll be mindful, I guess. OIG clinical. It says OIG clinical staff conducted a review of your allegations and found that further review by OIG is not warranted at this time. To resolve your concerns, you should continue to work with your VA medical team. Please contact the patient advocate to address your specific concerns. You may contact VA hotline at 1-855-2311 if you are not satisfied with VA MC response to your complaint. But my thing is, First of all, why is OIG clinical staff conducting a review of my allegations? Like, I don't understand. It's like, does OIG clinical staff have any form of financial knowledge? And just because you're clinical staff doesn't necessarily mean you're medical staff. Somebody can have clinical knowledge and not have medicinal knowledge. Some don't have pharmacological knowledge, or, I mean, come on now, like, this is how the DOVA is a sham. And what's sad is if I go to HHS, they want to phony baloney me, say they have no jurisdiction, and because that's the VA. And it's dumb. It's like, okay, so who's going to hold the VA accountable when they neglect a veteran healthcare? I have a chaplain, a retired chaplain, that is the head of the Department of Veteran Affairs, and this is how I'm being treated, and that's sad. Like, if the chaplain's bodyguard from the chaplain is being treated this way, that's not good. I mean, that's why I understand, okay, in a spiritual way, I have my faith and I'm secure in my faith and I trust and I believe, but also when I ground myself, whenever I had to work on electric vehicles, there were certain things like procedures that I had to do to get to the SD or the computer, the memory chip of the car. And especially with small assembly parts. So I would have to ground myself, or you'd have to ground yourself, make sure that the static was off of your body, and then you get to the small components. And what I'm getting at is I've like, I always maybe follow things too much by the book. I I have grounded myself in a spiritual way to get to the root of my homelessness, to get to the root of what led to me being to where I'm at present day. And I have always been really good at admitting what I don't know. And even when I say I don't know, and I mean that I do know, but I didn't mean to say I don't know, I think I'm very good at saying to myself, like, it's not that I don't know, I just don't know how to place those words to my emotions, which I'm working on communicating my emotions now. And I get exhausted. This is exhausting for one person. And I mean, I'm one person with the mentality that, okay, yes, I have some support. Yes, I have a lot of support. I think when you go through what I'm going through, you need that type of support in place. But also, having the support there, I wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in or in the position that I'm in. I would not be in it without the support that I have. Like, the support, as problematic and as terrible as all of the support has been disconnected and awful, the support got me there. And there was a point in that journey where it's like, okay, we got him here to this point. I got myself to this point. Now, kind of like I'm walking through, like, I'm just thinking about, there's this movie that I used to love and I watched it every night before I went to bed. It's called Nemo in Slumberland. And there's this part in the movie where Nemo, he goes through these doors with the Oogie Boogie, and he has to go through all of Slumberland alone. And that's kind of like where I got to. Like, there was this dark oogie boogie door I had to go through by myself. Nobody else could come with me. Only I could go through it by myself. And the oogie boogie was gonna do whatever it was gonna do. But ultimately, like, in that Slumberland, it's almost like everybody comes together, all the characters come together, and so I just feel like there's a portion in this life that I have. This may be to some people like something that's super unachievable, a feat. I'm not being realistic. That's cool because it's been my reality since I started to leave engine building into electric vehicle. So, and I get really sad because I'm like, wow, like I just my mind goes to my foot on the pedal of the gas or the pedal of the accelerator. In my mind, I'm already in the car. My hands are on the yoke of the steering wheel. Like, that's mentally where I would love to be, and instead I can barely use this hand. I struggle here, and I guess what I'm saying in so many words is like I know that I have this support, but also it's it's an illusion for my own safety, and it's what's best for me, but also everything will fall into place. I heard somebody say everything with time, everything falls into place. Like, I heard someone say, don't worry, with time, everything falls in its place. And that's where I'm really at right now. Like, it's not that I don't care, I'm not taking action. Obviously, I have the judge saying that I have to submit certain things, certain documents by a deadline, by these dates. So it's not that I'm sitting here wasting time, but I feel like this is the best thing I can do for myself is just go live. Whoever's going to chime in, tune in and use this content, or if I one day decide to merge all of this content together and make a movie of myself, that's me. But I'm just at the point where, like, I have to live past this situation and this circumstance. And it's just, it's being true to what I've gone through, what I've been through, what has happened to me, what I've survived, what I have, like, what I have, like, I'm just thinking about all these Epstein survivors, and I'm just like, wow, like, I, I'm, even right now, I'm like thinking to myself, today in my day, a lot, like, I just kind of, for the past few days, granted, I had the procedure on my back, but for the past, actually, over the weekend, the past few days, I've found out about the Jonathan Mendoza Jr., and I have records of reports, me writing the DOJ Civil Rights Division. I have so many reports, so many cases, writing it up, writing about phony Leonard Bo Stallman, how he's a phony, how he goes by Bo Stallman, he's a phony, and they're racist and discrimination and what they did to me and what they've done to me and what they continue to do to me. I wrote all of that up. I have it all in these case numbers. And I was like, wow, like, nobody I it's not new to me. I am in a position where like people disregard me. They open shut the case, tell me they have no jurisdiction, and now this young man's life is dead. And I'm like, okay, I'm Evan Mendez, and this guy's John Mendoza Jr. I forgot the middle name. I didn't even know they had a middle name till recently. I think I saw like a Facebook memorial post. So Mendez, Mendoza, that is truly off the bat how that police, Brazoria County, how these police treat you. I mean, it wasn't till recently that I actually walked into a Lake Jackson police department and I made a report. And even then, I'm like, I've had plenty of reasons to come into this police department, plenty of reasons, but everything's on God's time. This is perfect proof that Bo Stallman needs to be fired. He needs to be removed. He needs to be reprimanded because that is the type of environment. I have proof. I have this citation. I have the reports that I made, how they treated me, how the Texas State Trooper came and took my wallet and didn't bring it back. That's literally one of the red flags of human trafficking or labor exploitation is when somebody takes your driver's license and doesn't give it back. It happened to me in the workplace and outside of the workplace. But it's just the fact that a Texas State Trooper would, just because they know they're wrong and they know that they're racial profiling or they have so much on their head and their mind, they got problems too. And I'm just like, hey, there's a way to go about these things. You guys are choosing wrong. And I reported all of these things. And now a life that could have been prevented had Department of Justice, Civil Rights, had all these federal agencies just looked into my case, into my report, and investigated Bo Stallman and investigated the police department and investigated my reports, they probably would have seen that these people are racist. They're racist. Their racist practices, their racism, and taking the countermeasures to educate these people like, yes, you're police, you're law enforcement, but even Bo Stallman, I think that that was the perfect proof that he's an idiot. And he says, he was like, inform what I inform. No, you should be well informed as a law enforcement officer. You should be well educated in law enforcement. Actually, you should be knowledgeable in law enforcement. You should have the discernment factually of the law to do what's right by the law, not twist the law and do as you please by what you're informed because information is hearsay. Facts is evidence. What evidence do you have? What forensic evidence do you have of this individual that is law enforcement? Their the techniques, the methods used, what protocol were they following? And at the end of the day, they were under his supervision. This is the type of culture in that organization. And racism is promoted, sadly. And I hope that I can just share my story. All I can do is, I'm like, man, I get thinking to myself today, like, something keeps telling me pick up the phone, call the attorney for John Mendoza Jr., and just say, hey, I I don't need your help. Nobody wants to help me anyway. Nobody's been helping me. Nobody's wanted to take my case since 2022. Big whoop. So, but just say, hey, like, I may have some information. It may not mean much to you, but I think it's well worth sharing with you that I've reported Bo Stallman, Brazoria County Police Department, for their racism, the racism I experienced, the racism towards me. maybe it'll help them, and maybe it'll help get rid of a loser sheriff, and maybe it'll help transform Brazoria County so that I and my family finally feel safe and not racially profiled or discriminated against when we're out there. So I could go on and on. And it's not that I get distracted, but I know that the reality is if I do things textbook, just like everybody else around me is, I'm not I'm not part of that solution. I'm just stuck in that system. And I think that creating videos and footage and whomever decides to chime in and gather with the information that they gather from me, well, people are tuning in. As to why, I have no idea. I can just keep jumping online and sharing my story, sharing what I'm live. If people that really care to check into, log into, and see what I'm up to, then they will. Peace and have a good night.